got very excited when I heard that Faber-Castell were bringing out a new marker pen, because I really love the Faber-Castell Pitt Artist pens. I've been using them for years. I use them such a lot, and they have the pigment ink in and they're permanent, but these are different because these are water-based dye and they are fully water soluble, and you can reactivate them when they have dried. Now what is lovely about them is you get the dual tip, so on one side you have a very lovely soft flexible brush tip, and that is really soft. I've found that doesn't squeak, it's really easy to use. And on the other side you have a metal encased fine liner for details, and the width of that is 0.4 millimeters. So when you're out and about, you don't have to carry two pens of the same colour. You can just take the one pen with you for each colour that you want to use. Now these are also streak free, odourless, acid free, pH neutral, and they don't bleed through the paper. And they also the cap and the barrel is 100% recycled material, and Faber-Castell say that because of this there may be some colour variations on the colour of the cap and the barrel, but that doesn't affect the colour of the ink inside. They also claim carbon neutral production, so they're good for the environment. So using recycled materials has to be good, it has to be a step forward. Now you can get 60 colours here. They're available as singles or themed sets. There's a portrait set, flower set, fantasy set. I don't remember them all, but several different variations. But I looked at the colour chart and there are some new colours, and I was very excited about the colours, and I've gone through very carefully, picked out a few that I would like to try. Normally when I try a new pen I will buy a lilac, a purple and a blue, because they're colours I use most, and I can compare them to other colours that I have at home, different pens, and see how they perform. But because this was Faber-Castell, I decided I'd just go ahead and get a few more colours to start with, which I can add to at a later date. So the thing with these is there's no blender pen. You don't actually need a blender pen because they're quite wet when you use them, so they blend easily one on top of the other, and so that is another advantage. You can also reactivate them when they're completely dry by using a different colour pen, or you can use a water brush. And I've done some experimenting with this because I like to do leaves and plant based, so I did 3 leaves here. Each one was stripy, green, yellow, green, yellow, and you can see here I've just started to activate this side with my water brush, and I can lighten that, I can add in detail with the fine liner. With this middle leaf I blended entirely with my water brush, so it was the same green and yellow stripes. I then, when it was dry, I damped it down in little sections with the water brush, and I lifted out some colour with some kitchen paper. And with this leaf I've been blended entirely with the yellow pen, so it again had green and yellow stripes, and then I've just blended all over with the yellow pen, and then again I've added a little bit of water when it was dry, and I've just lifted out some areas for some detail. So there's a lot you can do with these pens. If you haven't used water-based pens before, maybe it takes a little bit of getting used to, but it just was experimenting, and there's lots more that you can do with them. So the thing I think about these that are really good is that the cap and the barrel are 100% recycled. I love the brush nib. That is really easy to use and it's fun to use. It doesn't make any strange squeaky noises when you use it. The actual colour is quite wet and blendable, so you don't need an extra blender. You can use them just with the pens, or you can use them with a water brush, and you can reactivate them when they're dry, which is also good. So you can actually completely remove the colour. I did do a little experiment on a piece of paper which I've mislaid at the moment, but you can keep damping down the colour, dabbing it with a piece of kitchen paper, and you can actually remove areas of colour for highlights, so that's really good. I think the only real downside for me is the fact they're not light fast. You do have to pay a lot more for a light fast water based pen. Faber-Castell do the Albrecht Dürer pens, But, you know, if you just want your everyday pen, your sketching pen, your out and about pen, then they're great. They're great. They are a little bit more expensive than the artist pens, which did surprise me. But maybe I think that's probably because you get the dual tip. You've got the brush and the fine liner on one pen, so obviously the production costs must be slightly higher for that. But I think, yeah, well worth having a go. And I say I do actually really love the colours. I think these pastel colours here are absolutely beautiful, really, really lovely. I very much enjoyed them. I think that for my botanical work that I like to do, that they will be very useful. I look forward to trying them a bit more detail. And I'm definitely will think in the future about adding some more colours. But for now, this is the set that I'm going to work with.